Join us.
Friends, welcome and Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shalom.
This is the most full our sanctuary has been in 2 full years. And it is full not just with your bodies, your presence, but with your ruach, your spirit. The energy in this room tonight is so joyous. It's wonderful. It's really wonderful. So I'm Rabbi Michael Friedman on behalf of Cantor Julia Cadrain and Rabbi Ilana Nematoff-Ressler, and especially Rabbi Zach Pleasant. We welcome you to Temple Israel this evening. Because it's been so long since so many of us have been together, I wanted to give us a moment to greet one another. I want to invite you to turn around to someone who might be sitting near you, who you haven't seen in a long time, or whose face is unfamiliar to you, and extend a hand and greet them and say hello.
I like it.
Rabbi Nemitov Bressler just said, "This is so cool," and I agree. In addition to those who I introduced up here, we have a number of our wonderful staff with us. Our Executive Director, Brian Bierman, our new Director of Program and Member Engagement, Stephanie Schwartz. We have Sean and Eric, as always, managing the live stream. Welcome to all of you who are joining us virtually. We have Mike Lentowski, our accompanist, and on bass, Mike, and we have Kobe and Yusuf with us as well. And some special guests who are here for this evening of installation for Rabbi Pleasant, his home rabbi, Rabbi Jeffrey Serkman, and his mentor, Rabbi Billy Dreskin. We're so pleased to have Mary Lovinger Arian with us, Alana Arian, Cantor's wife. We have Cantor Ellen Dreskin with us as well, and also Rabbi Ariel Milon Polisar and Rabbi Rachel Pass and Jana, Zach's fiance, who's about to be ordained as a cantor within just weeks. And so there's a lot to celebrate tonight, and in that vein, I invite our president, John Kaufman, forward to say a few words.
So before I start, I just have to say I saw Zach in the lobby earlier, Rabbi Pleasant, and I said, Zach, you should really be honored because it's the first time in a year I've worn pants that aren't elastic around the waist. So I think we can all relate. I know, it's nice that things actually fit. I was a little nervous. But anyway, so good evening. I'm John Kaufman, President of the Board of Trustees of Temple Israel. On behalf of the board, I extend a warm welcome to Rabbi Pleasant's family and friends as we celebrate his official installation. We consider ourselves to be an exciting inflection point as we welcome new clergy and staff members, all bringing bold creative ideas, tremendous enthusiasm, and great promise for a vibrant future at Temple Israel. In barely more than 6 months, Rabbi Pleasant has become an integral and esteemed part of this promise and our community. We consider ourselves beyond fortunate that he chose to become a part of our congregational family. And I consider myself personally fortunate to have him as a friend. So Rabbi Pleasant, Zach, congratulations on your installation, and to everybody, Shabbat Shalom.
Friends, we're taught in the Talmud that every synagogue needs to have windows. Every synagogue needs to have windows so that we always see what's going on in the outside world. And this evening, as much as we're creating an environment of such warmth and joy and celebration here, we are very well aware of our brothers and sisters, Jewish and not, who are suffering terrible pain and loss and privation in Ukraine on this Shabbat. And so, as we light these Shabbat candles, as we invite Aiden and Rebecca, who will become bar and bat mitzvah tomorrow, to light these candles, I suggest that we light them in honor of all the Jews of Ukraine, a place where so many of us have strong but painful ties. We pray that our brothers and sisters there may find just a bit of shalom on this Shabbat. Page 120.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. Thank you. Rebecca and Aiden. At this point in our service, we turn to Kabbalat Shabbat, where we sing songs of joy to help ground us and welcome in the joy of Shabbat. And there's no better person that I can think of to help us do this than Mary Lovinger Arian, my beloved teacher, Zach's beloved teacher, professor at Hebrew Union College. She also happens to be my mother-in-law.
Means she had to say all of those things because I'm her mother-in-law. Oh, okay. So on your insert, your song sheet, whatever you have inside your prayer book, this will help you a little bit with what we're about to do. Chazak, chazak, v'nit chazek. From strength to strength, may we be strengthened. Chazak, chazak, v'nit chazek. Chazak, chazak, v'nit chazek. One more time. Chazak, chazak, v'nit chazek. We have come from near and far to raise our voice in song. And the more we join in the refrain, the more we feel strong. Chazak, chazak, v'nit chazek. Be strong, let us strengthen one another. Be strong, let us celebrate our lives. Be strong, let us strengthen one another. Chazak, chazak, v'nit chazek. Let's try that. Be strong. Be strong, let us strengthen one another. Be strong, let us celebrate our lives. Be strong, let us strengthen one another. Chazak, chazak, v'nit chazek. That last line, let's try that. Ready? Chazak, chazak, v'nit chazek. You got it. Be strong, let us strengthen one another. Be strong, let us celebrate our lives. Be strong, let us strengthen one another. Chazak, chazak, v'nit chazek. Chazak, chazak, v'nit chazek.
Thank you so much. We're going to continue the singing, turning to page 131, Shir Kaddish. We sing a new song to God.
Shirut
that Rabbi Pleasant has on the wall of his office, which we both love, which reads, Bishvili ha'olam nivra, ve'ani afar ve'efer. That on one hand, the whole world was made for me, and on the other hand, I am but dust and ashes. Rabbi Simcha Bunim, a Hasidic master at the turn of the 19th century, teaches that we should hold these two sayings in each of our pockets. In moments where we need humility, we remind ourselves that we are but dust and ashes. And on those where we need to be uplifted, we recall that the whole world was made for us. Each Shabbat, when we reach the Charodi, we remember that the world was created with this rest, with this Shabbat in mind. So with that intention, we join together in singing the Charodi, verses 1, 2, 5, and 9, pages 138 and 39. As we reach verse 9, we'll rise and face the entrance to welcome in the Shabbat bride.
Shabbat.
amazing is it to hear all of your voices all together? Our bima up here is a place of ascension, a place of power and grace. It's also a space upon which many have stood, sharing beauty, learning, and tears. Tonight it is a site of inspiration and awe, a place of hope. As we ascend to the bima, we as a community ascend spiritually, joining together in our call to prayer, raising our voices. Baruch Hu is our call to each other, to our community, to unite in song. We remain standing for Baruch Hu, page 146. Please be seated. With the joy of all of us being together, we have the opportunity to do something we don't get to do very often these days. Listen to a room full of people. And it sounds so beautiful. Shema is our opportunity to listen not only externally, but also internally. And we turn now to Shema, page 152.
Baruch atah Adonai, ohev amo Yisrael. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai echad. Baruch Shem kevod malchuto le'olam va'ed. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha v'chol levavcha u'v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol meyodecha ve'hayu ha'devarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam b'shivtecha b'veitecha uv'lechtecha v'derech uv'shokfecha uv'kumecha uk'shartam lehot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot b'neinecha uchtavtam al mezuzot beitecha u'visharecha Leman tizkeru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'tem kedoshim lo lechem. Ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim lihot lachem Elohim. Ani Adonai Elohechem Adonai Elohechem emet.
A congregant noted to me this week that it was perhaps the height of Jewish humor that a former Jewish comedian was the only one who could stand up to the world's greatest strongman. I appreciate that take, but I have a bit of a different one, and that is that, with apologies to the children in the room, Vladimir Zelensky is one badass Jew. This week we have watched as he stood squarely in the tradition of our people, among those who have bravely sought freedom against an impossibly powerful foe. Not wearing a suit, not wearing army fatigues, but rather in a simple t-shirt, rallying the Ukrainian people, calling upon us, Jews around the world, to remember the victims of Babi Yar and to reach out, helping those in need. In his honor, tonight, we sing our song of freedom and redemption, Mi Chamocha, page 158.
I'm so happy to invite up Jenna Mark, Zach's fiance, soon to be ordained as a cantor, as we turn to Hashkivenu, which you can find on page 153. 163. Thank you, Rabbi.
160. Page 160.
Page 160. We pray for peace and shelter for the people of Ukraine, for all of us. We rise together in body or in spirit for the Amidah, page 164. We'll sing the opening line together as a community, asking God to open up our lips. And then we'll do something a little different tonight. We'll just simply continue on in silence from there. Adonai, sefatai tiftach, u'fia giteilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. We'll continue with our personal prayers now. We invite you to either remain standing or be seated as you're comfortable, using the words of the book or the words of your own heart.
A few weeks ago, a deer showed up outside the windows of the reception room during Kesher. Our kindergarten, first, second, and third graders clamored to the window to get a look at the deer limping around the grass. A few weeks later, our sixth graders noticed the same deer hanging out on the patio. They immediately called me and asked if there was anything we could do, if we could call animal control. The students wanted someone to heal this deer. I actually don't know what happened to the deer, but I do know that the students regularly ask about the deer. If only our world could be a little bit more like our students, inquiring of those in pain or in need of healing, caring about other beings, maybe our world would be a safer, healthier place. We offer Misha Berach tonight, knowing that there are those in our world who are in need of healing of illness of mind, body, or spirit. We ask for healing for them, and we ask that it comes quickly. May the deer we saw find healing as well, and may all those who we hold in our hearts find healing. The following members of our congregational family have been made known to us: Yisrael Abraham ben Thea Rachel, Marlene Blumenthal, John Callaghy, Lauren Costello, Frida Easton, Steve Elliott, Roy Fuchs, Lanny Gans, Skylar Grossman, John Hall, Brad Hammer, Gloria Hausman, Jeff Helfand, David Hidalgo, Peter Hort, Nora Coulter, Dan Canner, Natalie Kellner, Phyllis Kamansky, Mark Krigsman, Ira Levy, Don Matthews, Maggie Mulcahy, Barbara Nash, Ruth Ocean, B. Plasick, Francine Plaza, Carol Randall, Robbie Rajano, Steve Seaman, Kathy Soroka, Esther Stone, Karen Sugarman, Sandy Troy, John Weiss, Joan Wetzler, Yocheved Sarah Bat Ito. If there's someone you're thinking of in need of healing, I invite you to share their name aloud. For all those named and for those we hold in our hearts, we join in Misha Berach, page 371.
Friends, did you know that the first ever Jewish installation ceremony takes place in this week's Torah portion, Parshat Pikudei? Just so happens to be the case. You chose it just for that reason, right? Exactly. Right, Rabbi? After we, the Jewish people, have prepared the tent of meeting with all of its rivets and sockets and beautiful fabric and gold and silver and copper, and we've prepared the priestly vestments, the clothes that the high priest Aaron will wear, God tells Moses, "V'mashachta oto v'kidashta oto v'chichen li," anoint him and consecrate him, that he may serve me. Moses appoints Aaron with these words as the first religious leader of the Jewish people. So why have this ceremony here tonight? Because it's our tradition to have a public ceremony by which our communal leaders are officially charged with their duties. Originally, it was God telling Moses to do it, Moses doing it to Aaron, this installing thing. Now, it's mentors and teachers, it's clergy colleagues, it's all of you. Not just watching. You're not just here to watch this ceremony. For this ceremony of installation to fulfill its promise, we need all of you to participate fully with body and mind and spirit. So there'll be a few ways that you can do that throughout the rest of this evening and this service. At this time, I want to invite two wonderful rabbis, or I guess in a moment I want to invite two wonderful rabbis to our bima Two wonderful rabbis with whom I have had a bit of a relationship over the years. Rabbi Billy Dreskin is Rabbi Emeritus of Woodlands Community Temple in White Plains. He was Rabbi Pleasant's mentor through 3 years of internship during his years at Hebrew Union College, rabbinical school. Rabbi Dreskin and I know each other from our time about 20 years ago at Camp Kutz, which is the URJ's teen camp, which was, sadly, I have to say, it is no more. It was the URJ, Union for Reform Judaism's teen leadership camp. Billy brought all sorts of things to camp, his leadership, his humanity, and his compassion. But I think the most important thing for me was a stack of T-shirts that he may have only worn at Kutz. They probably sat in your closet untouched the rest of the year. His wife, Cantor Ellen Dreskin, is here, smiling. Each T-shirt was emblazoned with just a beautiful ethical teaching. The one I remember best really sticks in my mind, I've told you. It said, "Stand for something, or you'll fall for anything." There have been difficult times in my rabbinic leadership when I've had to ask myself, what do I stand for? And I remember that T-shirt. It helps me determine the answer to that question. And once I have the answer to that question, I know that I'm on firm ground. So thank you for being my teacher too. And Rabbi Jeffrey Serkman is a senior rabbi at Larchmont Temple. Rabbi Serkman was my teacher because for many years he has taught all fifth year, final year rabbinical students at Hebrew Union College, Jewish Institute of Religion. I think it's called Senior Seminar. Is that still the title of it? There are lots of names for it, but that's one. There are many names for it, yes, thank you. Many humorous names for it. It is sort of our final course in practical rabbinics, and really sort of our way of being ushered out into the Jewish world as newly formed rabbis. He's helped us, all of us, through the years, get jobs, figure out our place in this Jewish world, how to teach Torah and live Torah. And he's Rabbi Pleasant's rabbi from forever, his whole life. Right? So on behalf of our entire congregation, it is my honor to welcome Rabbi Billy Dreskin and Rabbi Jeffrey Serkman to our bima.
You know, there's no way we can live up to that introduction. Is this thing on?
We do these.
Okay. You want me to repeat myself? Wasn't that funny? Let's see, I could read, I could sing.
You good?
Yeah.
Are you good?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right. So I know that, Rabbi Friedman, erudite, articulate, began to hint about what's going on in this week's Torah portion, but it's the last one in the book of Exodus, of course, Pikudei. Who doesn't love a good Torah? Betzalel's in there to complete the tabernacle. Really, it begs the question, what can we learn from these sacred words of Torah?
Will you excuse me a minute?
Yeah.
I just have to make a phone call.
Are you serious?
Yeah, evidently, I am not, because it says the call failed, much like my time at HUC.
Oh, hold on one second. Let me see.
Let's see.
Wait a minute. Let's see if my phone's on.
Okay. Give us a minute here, will you? You know we should have rehearsed this. Okay. Go ahead.
Billy?
Hi, it's me.
You know we're in the middle of a service, right? Why are you calling me? You're a schmendrick.
Yeah, I'm calling you because Rabbi Friedman already spoke about Pikudei.
Yeah, but aren't we here to do Torah? I mean, we're rabbis.
I know, and I know you love Pikudei because you are a nerdy rabbi. But Jeffrey, this is Zach Plesant's installation service. We have to come up with something more than has already been presented this evening.
Can we put the phones down? Can we do that? Okay.
All right. So, this is Zach's installation, and frankly, I'm a little surprised at him. I looked up installation in the dictionary, and it says that installation describes a military establishment. What is Zach doing military stuff for? I didn't have that class in rabbinical. Do you teach that in senior seminar?
No.
No. I don't think it's a very good way for him to begin his rabbinate.
You have to stop this, okay?
What?
You heard what installation was already. This is not the installation we're talking about. This is rabbinic installation. This is not plumbing and heating. This is where we have to tell the congregation and highlight all of the high-minded values and qualities of this man, this rabbi, to help Temple Israel know why he's the perfect rabbi for them, how all of Rabbi Pleasant's pieces fit together.
Why didn't you tell me that when we were getting ready for this tonight?
Well, I did a few times.
Okay, let me see if I've got it right now. We're supposed to say stuff about Zach, and that's a big part of his installation?
That is correct. That is correct. That's what we do. That's what we do.
Well, that sounds great. I can say things about Zach. And we can have some fun with this, too, because I know some really embarrassing stuff about him. We can go way back. I could talk about why he got kicked out of kindergarten. I could tell the story of when he was 9 years old and he opened a lemonade stand, thinking that the recipe for lemonade called for lemons and marinade. And I can also talk about the time that he got arrested in New York City. You think he already told the congregation about that?
You're not getting this. This is when we're supposed to say nice things about Zach Pleasant.
Pleasant.
Not made up. And by the way, if you lie on the bema, God will strike you down. So you can't do that. We're here to say nice things about Zach Pleasant, which is really all I can say. Zach Pleasant grew up at Larchmont Temple. I smile when I say that. He was one of our kids, but he was much more. From his bar mitzvah and before, we knew Zach was somehow unique, special. Yes, every bar bat mitzvah at Temple Israel of Westport is special, like at Larchmont Temple, even if they're not. But yet, he was uniquely special, a gifted kid, 11, 12-year-old, not because the generations of his family grew up at Larchmont Temple, but because of who he was, even as a kid, a young teen. I still can see Zach on the bema at his bar mitzvah, teaching Torah, his sense of compassion way beyond what most kids understood. Zach was in his element. And after he gave his drash, a really bang-up Torah teaching, I looked at him, told him he looked great in a tallis, and he'd make a wonderful rabbi someday. Zach didn't flinch. Instead, he went on to confirmation class and to become the president of Lofty, our senior youth group, I think for 2 years. Were you president twice? Would you like to be president again?
There's an opening.
Zach changed the way Lofty worked. He made it a place because of who he was where everybody felt welcome. Everybody felt connected. Nobody didn't have a place because Zach made sure. I know that he must have gone to school, high school, Mamaroneck High School, but I don't know when because he was always at Larchmont Temple. Planning and programming, and Zach's great gift, schmoozing. Zach was like Norm at Cheers. He walked in, everybody knew his name. He went off to college, Indiana. That did not diminish his connection for a minute. Jewish studies major that Zach was, we would meet regularly, in between semesters, at the end, before, just to go through and review. He'd give me a full report on what he was taking. We'd talk a little Torah. We'd schmooze about life, how I could help, if I could in any way, because he wasn't just our kid. In a real way, Zach was my kid. And though I never recall asking him outright, the operative assumption was he'd be a rabbi. Why? Because with a love of Jewish teaching and living, the joy he exuded while sharing it or talking about it, with a caring heart that was always open to other people, and with a sincerity of spirit that made him authentically himself and nothing ever less. Zach was the real deal. In many ways, he was already a rabbi. When he asked me to write his recommendation to rabbinical school, I told him, "What took you so long? I've had it ready in the drawer for years."
Well, I didn't enter the picture until Zach came to Woodlands in 2018 as our intern. We liked him so much, however, that as you've heard, we kept him for 3 years, which is fairly unheard of in the rabbinic intern world. But the day that Zach arrived, our folks fell deeply in love with him because he was funny, he was smart, he was a terrific teacher, and he was exceedingly kind. Zach and I would meet Monday afternoons to spend an hour or so talking about Jewish life, about synagogue life, about our own lives. He was always up for it, always curious to know more about whatever topic was at hand, and he was always willing to roll up his sleeves and to help make the next Woodlands moment happen. I'll never forget him bringing down the house during Purim 2020. Our festivities that year were being retrofitted as part of our goodbye to our retiring rabbi. Staff and congregants had been invited to roast the cantor in a loving but unrestrained way. And Zach had joined our other rabbi and our youth director in thoroughly raking the cantor over the hottest coals that they could fire up. I really can't be sure if he had the congregation rolling in the aisle because I was too busy rolling in the aisle. It was that kind of spirit and generosity of time and energy that endeared Zach to our community. Because an internship is about learning, we often would wonder if we could keep things interesting enough for Zach during a third year, which is also the 5th year of rabbinical school. So these young bucks are kicking at the gate, so eager to begin their clergy careers. Zach, in his 3rd year of the internship, he got a pandemic, turning, as I'm sure you all well know, everything about Temple on its head. No coasting through this 3rd year for this intern, as we had to reinvent literally every building block of synagogue life in order to find ways to make things work online, forever responding to the agonizing question, how do you build a community out of people who can't be in the same room with each other? And while other rabbis and cantors were being worn down by months and months of lockdown and of adjusting to working through a camera and a screen, Zach helped us make that time, as challenging and as sometimes disenchanting as it was, into something akin to a miracle. His ideas, his enthusiasm, his energy, and his always affable presence, pandemic or not, all contributed to the strengthening of our temple in remarkable and unforgettable ways. Whether he was giving a sermon, playing and singing Shabbat music, helping lead a Passover Seder, or leading High Holy Day worship, often with Jenna doing the very same thing just a few feet away from him in their exceptionally tiny Manhattan apartment. By year 3, Zach was no longer simply an intern. He had grown into our clergy partner. He was a member of the team and of the temple family. From rabbi to board member, from the oldest members to our very youngest, everyone loved getting to spend time with him.
And now, he's our colleague, and we could not be more proud to call him Rabbi.
Hey, I got an idea.
Yeah, go ahead. I knew you would.
Since Zach knows how much you and I love to tell stories, how about we end this presentation with a story?
That is a wonderful idea. You got one?
Not me, I'm retired. I thought maybe you could think of one of those Hasidic stories you're telling all the time.
Well, there are a couple that might fit the bill. Do you remember when you and I were young rabbis, and we were so excited to attend our first CCAR Reform Rabbis Conference, the convention?
Yeah, that was in Teaneck, and this does not sound Hasidic.
Pay attention, Billy. Nothing is ever as it seems. You remember, you would arrange for a carriage to pick us up and take us across the GW Bridge?
Yes. It was a gorgeous day, and it was a gorgeous carriage, too. Not like the Ubers people ride these days. It was beautifully decorated and impeccably clean.
Drawn by two beautiful horses, magnificent, pulling us to our destination.
And as we drew closer and closer to Teaneck, something remarkable happened outside our windows. People began gathering on the streets and were running alongside our carriage, hoping to catch a glimpse of the great rabbis inside.
Billy, it was just you and me. It was only us.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, they didn't know that. They thought the sages of their generation were inside, and they wanted to greet us and show us the honor and the respect that we deserved.
Someday, maybe, we'd be worthy of that. Not that day.
Do you remember how some of them reached up and unharnessed the horses?
That Teaneck, it has never been safe for Jews.
No, Jeffrey. They wanted to pull the carriage themselves. They put themselves in the harnesses so that they could have the honor of pulling us by their own strength. And soon others were doing the same, harnessing themselves in to help draw our carriage.
I remember thinking, who is all this honor for? It could only be for my friend Billy, a great scholar and compassionate mensch of a person who's sitting here beside me. I'm going to jump down and join them in honoring him.
And so you jumped out of the carriage and you joined that crowd. Then, sitting alone in the carriage by myself, I said, why are these people doing this? It can't be for me. It can only be for my friend, that great scholar and compassionate mensch, my friend Jeffrey.
And that's when I saw you jump out of the carriage and place yourself in the harness next to me.
And that is how two young, newly minted rabbis took part in pulling an empty carriage through the streets of Teaneck, New Jersey, while the crowd of bystanders, unaware that the carriage was empty, cheered the pious scholars inside.
But you forget, you and I were not traveling alone that day. Rabbi Zach was with us.
Zach? He wasn't even born yet.
Not Zach Plesent, Zachary ben Hakatsav, in spirit anyway, because he was the rabbi of the Mishnah who lived in Israel during the 2nd century. Are you getting this story at all? Do you get what I'm going here?
Do you know how hard it was to find a rabbi named Zachariah? I thought it had been a tight squeeze inside that carriage.
Let's call Zachary Rabbi Zach for short. He was watching the entire scene unfold when first the people of Teaneck and then you and I began pulling our carriage.
That's right. And when he saw what we were doing, that we had taken the place of the horses, Rabbi Zach, too, jumped right out of that carriage.
But Rabbi Zach ordered us all to stop and said, "Far be it from you to do such things. The goal of Jewish life is not to is to turn beasts into people, not people into beasts."
You want to say that again? Because
Let me
that's
do
kind
that.
of the point of the
Let's
whole
do
thing.
it. Let's do it. Take two. The goal of Jewish life is to turn beasts into people, not people into beasts.
And therein lies the message of Rabbi Zach Plesent, who is a rabbi that will serve Temple Israel by standing with you, never above you.
Helping you to bear your burdens, to celebrate your joys alongside you.
Zach is a rabbi who is humble of heart, whose hope is to help by reaching out a hand, by being there when it matters most.
Above all else, Zach is a rabbi who wants nothing more than to raise others up.
To make each one of you feel special.
To kindle that sacred spark inside you by sharing his warmth, his sincerity of spirit, his heart filled with love, to honor the best that is in you and to work with you to make life better for all.
And so to you, the sacred community of Temple Israel, we say,
Your new rabbi is going to give you so very much. He'll share with you in sanctifying life through moments like this of public worship.
He will teach you from this bema, inside your classrooms, on your screens, and in your boardrooms.
He'll do the same for your children, lifting them with joy to life living being Jewish, honored to practice its teachings, challenged to make a difference to better our world.
Zach is going to share in your happiest moments, and he'll hold your hand through the most difficult ones. He'll inspire you to work for the betterment of the world, and he'll eagerly join you in reaching out to the needy, in lobbying your elected officials, and in standing together when it's time to raise your voices against injustice.
But in return, you must give something to him and to Jenna. You must teach him how to live his private, personal life as well. You have to insist that he take care of himself, that he make time for his family, that he go home, and that he not come back when it's supposed to be his day off, or Shabbat afternoon, or he's away, or he's on vacation.
Take it from us. This is one of the most difficult clergy skills to develop. Zach must develop it for his sake and for yours. You need him strong and healthy and content. He needs to know that you have his back every bit as much as he has yours.
For what he learns here at this wonderful Temple Israel of Westport, this first rabbinic pulpit will pave the way for his entire rabbinate. He's going to be a great rabbi. You, along with Rabbi Friedman, Cantor Cadrain, Rabbi Nemitov Bressler, all of the core staff will help him to become that great rabbi.
So please also help him to live a great life, to share in the blessings that he will unreservedly send your way.
Billy and I, our families, all our friends back at Larchmont Temple and Woodlands Community Temple offer you our most sincere congratulations for your sheer brilliance and faithful foresight in choosing a stellar Zach Pleasant to become your newest rabbi.
Together, may you embrace countless opportunities to affirm and to increase goodness in our world. May you give love, and may you receive love in return.
May you all, with Rabbi Zach Pleasant at your side, grow Michael El Chayil from strength to sacred strength, with him leading the way.
Ken Yehi Ratzon.
Amen. I get your folder.
Rabbi Zach Pleasant.
Good for you.
I don't have any jokes, so. Pirkei Avot is a collection of the best aphorisms of our sages, and Pirkei Avot asks, who is wise? One who learns from everyone. I'm not sure what the definition of wise is these days, and I don't know if I would characterize myself that way, but I have learned from some amazing, amazing people. In particular, the two rabbis you just heard from, Rabbi Jeffrey Serkman and Rabbi Billy Dreskin. Thank you for telling me that I could be a rabbi and then showing me how to do it. And Professor Mary Levinger-Arian as well. Thank you for teaching me that a rabbi can be more than just one thing, and teaching me how to make sure that music remains a part of all that I do. I've heard lots of stories from classmates and colleagues about the various light bulb moments they had at the top of Masada or in the back of a service, these light bulb moments, the specific events that made them realize that they should be clergy. But I sort of like that my story is that guy told me to, so I did. You were right, so thank you again. I knew I wanted to be a congregational rabbi because it was the type of job that allowed me to interact with lots of incredible people on a daily basis. So when the placement process began and I started interviewing, that is precisely what I was looking for. Rabbi Friedman commented more than once that Westport was very similar to Larchmont, and so I would feel right at home, but it was my interactions with so many of you, even over Zoom, that solidified that feeling and made Westport the place that I most wanted to be. So Anita and Marcy, thank you both for guiding such a meaningful search process that led me here. And thank you to all who were involved in the process, staff and committee alike. It's so nice to see so many of those faces, many of which I only saw in our Zoom boxes, who are here tonight as well. To the committee, to staff alike, for showing me just what a special place this is. Each and every person that I get to work with on a daily basis makes this job not just easier, but genuinely fun. Particularly, my clergy team. Rabbi Friedman, Cantor Kadrain, and Rabbi Nematov Bressler, I am so, so grateful to each of you for your partnership, your mentorship, and your friendship. I truly feel like the luckiest first-year rabbi in the world because I get to work with all three of you. The comment that we've gotten from you, our community, that has meant really the most to me in my time here is that on the Bima, it feels like the four of us have been working together for 7 or 8 years, not just 7 or 8 months. I completely feel that as well, and it makes being a part of this team such a joy. They say it takes a village, and on nights like tonight, I am completely filled with gratitude for my ever-growing village. To my family, to my fiance, to my classmates, my friends, my mentors, those of you who knew me before I had this fancy title of rabbi, those of you who were able to be here in person, and those who are watching as well, I would not be here without each and every one of you. Installation is kind of a weird thing. Rabbi Friedman alluded to it at the beginning. He and I have been talking about what is a better word for what we're doing here. This is a weird time to do this. We don't really know what this is, but this moment, this night, is just the beginning of what I already feel is a special, special relationship. But the idea of a ceremony of installation now, at least until we find a new term, is powerful to me because it represents possibility and opportunity. I am so excited about what the future holds for Temple Israel, and I am so, so grateful to be a part of that. At the end of reading each book of the Torah, as we are this weekend, we recite this phrase, Chazak, chazak, v'nitchazek. Be strong, and let us strengthen one another. We say that this phrase is recited at the end of the book of the Torah, but by default, that means it's also right before the beginning of a new book of the Torah. It is read right before we begin something new together. And so to me, it represents the excitement and possibility and opportunity that I feel right now. And so it is the perfect phrase for this moment. I am filled with gratitude to be a part of this vibrant, warm, incredible community of strength as your rabbi. And I know that we will all continue to strengthen one another. Chazak, chazak, v'nitchazek. Thank you.
Beautiful.
Let's see if you remember. He went over the words a few times. Chazak, chazak, v'nitchazek. Chazak, chazak,
Friends, so many of you have already been part of Rabbi Pleasant's rabbinate here at Temple Israel. So I'm going to ask us to rise in a particular fashion on this evening. First, Zach's family, who is here. Please stand. It's Mom Nora, and as we've welcomed his fiancée, Jenna. If you're among Zach's teachers, rabbis, mentors, study partners, we ask you to rise as well. If you're part of the search committee that brought Rabbi Pleasant to us, we invite you to rise. And the board of trustees as well that invited Rabbi Pleasant to our congregation, we invite you to rise also. If in his 8 months here, I forgot, if you're a colleague, a current colleague, our staff here at Temple Israel, please rise. Or the spouse of a colleague. Excellent. There's a few, they're here, they're showing up tonight, that's great. If in his 8 months here at Temple Israel, you have had the chance to learn Torah with Rabbi Pleasant, I invite you to rise. If you've been inspired by a sermon that he delivered, please rise. If he was with you and your family for a life cycle event, happy or perhaps not as happy, yes, Rebecca, or tomorrow he will be part of a wonderful ceremony for your family, please rise. And if you look forward to being inspired, moved, motivated, enlightened, or simply a smile be put on your face by Rabbi Zach Pleasant, we invite you to rise, and we're going to sing a blessing of gratitude at this time.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam.
Arms around one another.
Shehechianu v'kibanu v'higianu l'zman hazeh. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Shehechianu v'kibanu v'higianu l'zman hazeh.
We invite you to remain standing, and we invite the clergy in the room, the rabbis and cantors in the room, to join us here on our bima before our open ark so that we can offer a few private words of blessing to Rabbi Pleasant. And we invite you to offer your own silent, private words of blessing to him during these moments as well.
all of us in blessing Zach with our oldest blessing, the priestly benediction. You can help us bless him in this moment by responding with a line. If you got a piece of paper when you walked in tonight, it's on that paper. 3 simple words, Ken Yehi Ratzon. That means so may it be. Yavarechecha Adonai ve'yishmerecha Ken Yehi Ratzon.
May God bless you and watch over you.
Yaher Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka Ken Yehi Ratzon.
May God's face watch over you always.
Yisa Adonai panav elecha ve'yasem lecha Shalom. Shalom. Ken Yehi Ratzon.
May God's light shine upon you every day, and may you find peace in your heart, in your home, in this congregation, and in our world. Ken Yehi Ratzon.
Yehi Ratzon.
Please be seated. Many times today, I will cross over a threshold. I hope I will catch a few of those times. I need to remember the fact that my life is, in fact, a continuous series of thresholds. From one moment to the next, from one thought to the next, from one action to the next. On the threshold, the entire past and the endless future rush to meet one another. In loss, we often stand at the threshold, attempting to grasp onto both the past and the present and future simultaneously, even as the past slips away. So we stand still in liminal space, wanting to hold on desperately. Kaddish is a reminder for us to sanctify the lives of those who have passed by holding their memories, by moving past the threshold into the future, by holding on to life. We honor those who have passed the threshold from this life, and tonight we honor their memories and their names. We remember those who have passed within the last month. Eliyahu Turgel, father of Lisa and Ed Friedland, grandfather of Adam, Peter, and Andrew. Roberta Cooper, wife of Paul, mother of Jamie and Melissa. Madeline Redlich, aunt of Craig and Sarah Cohen, and Kathy Diamond and Jonathan Goldstein. Joseph Zine, father of Monica and Jeff Goldstein, grandfather of Jeremy and Micah. And we remember those whose Yurtzites occur. Roseanne Agree, Henry Apfelbaum, Ronald Appel, Irma Batt, Robert Ben Moshe, Evelyn Blauner, Jill F. Cohen, Andrew Cooper, Jonah Maccabee Dreskin, Molly Drucker, Stacy Feldman, Pearl Fitter, Leon Fitter, Louis Fuchs, Estelle Gelfman, Leonard Geller, Irma Gellen, Abby Goldenberg, Jack Harold Goldberg, Stuart Greenfield, Richard Laskin, Edwin Lasner, Rosalind Leslie, William Lustig, Sophie Nair, Deborah Ann Nigrelli, Samuel Novenstern, Ruth Roseman, Shirley Schneider, Irene Seltzer, Maury Shea, Arthur Stashauer, Esther Weiss. If there's someone you're remembering this evening, we'd like to invite you to share their name aloud. We remember them all and hold them in our hearts as we join together as a sacred community in Mourner's Kaddish. Page 598, we rise. Yit Gadal v'yit Kadash Shemei Rabbah, Be'alma Divra Cherute V'yamlich Malchute, V'chayachon Uvyomechon Uvchaye Dechol Beit Yisrael, Ba'agala Uvizman Kariv V'imru Amen. Yehei Shemei Rabbah Mevarach Le'olam Olmei Olmaya, Yit Barach V'ishtabach V'yitva'ar V'yitramam V'yitnaseh, Yitadar V'yitaleh V'yitalal Shemei Dekudasha B'richu, Le'ela Min Kol Birchata V'shirata, Tush V'chata V'nechamata, Damiram Be'alma V'imru, Amen. Yehei Shlama Rabba Min Shemaya, V'chayim Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael, V'imru, Amen. Osei Shalom B'imrumav, Hu Ya'aseh Shalom, Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael, V'imru, Amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn and comfort to all who are bereaved. As together we say, Amen.
Truly, what a pleasure it has been to be all of us here together in such great numbers and in such great joy and in such great spirit, Ruach, this evening. I especially thank tomorrow morning and evening's bar and bat mitzvah, Aiden Goldenberg and Rebecca Herbst, for enduring this especially lengthy but especially joyful. And thank you to your families as well, a joyful service. So at this time, Aiden and Rebecca, we invite you up to lead us in Kiddush and Motzi. We invite everyone to join us for Oneg, the first in 2 years, in the social hall directly behind you, immediately following the conclusion of our service. And we look forward to saying hello to you face to face in there. So, page 123, you guys can pick up those beautiful Kiddush cups. There you go.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav, v'ratza banu, v'shabbat kodsho, v'ahava uvratzon hinilanu, zikaron l'maaseh b'reishit, kihu yom tehila, l'mikra'ei kodesh, zever yetziat mitzrayim, kivanu b'avarta, ve'otanu kidashta, b'kol ha'amim, ve'shabbat kodecha, ve'ahava uvratzon, hinchafanu, Baruch atah Adonai, mekadesh haShabbat. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min ha'aretz,
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.